Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our Mastering Maize and Blue episodes. Myself, Ghadah Abdulshafi, and Margaux, a few of your orientation leaders, will be talking about supplemental instruction, tutoring, and study skills. My name is Ghadah Abdulshafi, and I'm involved in various organizations here on campus, such as being a career peer, a supplemental instruction leader, and many more. As an icebreaker, my favorite color is green. Margaux, I will pass it off to you.
Thank you, Ghadah. Hi, everyone. My name is Margaux Sketch. I am a senior here at UM-Dearborn. I'm majoring in elementary education with a concentration in language arts. Aside from being an orientation leader, I am a kindergarten through 12th grade tutor through the Experience Plus program on our campus. I'm also a peer mentor through the Wolverine Mentor Collective program, and I'm a member of the Delta Phi Epsilon sorority. And my favorite color is blue. So now I'm going to pass it over to our guest, Jess, to introduce herself.
Hi, thank you for having me. My name is Jessica LaGrange, or Jess. I'm the director of the Office of Academic Success, and I help manage all of our learning centers and tutoring and SI programs on campus. And my favorite color is yellow.
So for our first question, what is your favorite part about UM-Dearborn?
Oh gosh. My favorite part, I think, is really just all the different people that I get to meet and get to work with. I've met so many people who work and think and do different types of things all day. And I just think it's really interesting to learn from a lot of different people.
Awesome.
I also agree. I would also say that my favorite part about UM-Dearborn is the close-knit community that we have. I really enjoy how everyone's very supportive, very helpful, and they care about your success as a student here. Margaux, would you like to add anything?
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with both of you. Having a smaller campus makes it easier to build like bonds with other people. And it also makes you feel like you're not really just a number on campus. You're like an individual that the staff knows, your teachers know, you know a lot of your classmates. So that definitely is one of my favorite parts about UM-Dearborn as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think the next question of how you would describe campus and community kind of goes along with that. I think we have a very supportive campus, and everyone that I talk to really truly cares about student success, and they want students to learn in and out of the classroom. And it's just like it's a great feeling to be around so many people who are like-minded.
Definitely, for sure.
So for our next question, what are some of your main responsibilities?
Yeah, so like I said before, our office houses the Math Center, the Science Learning Center, the Writing Center, Tutoring, and Supplemental Instruction. We also do quite a few things for faculty support, but for students, those are the main areas of the Learning Centers and then SI and Tutoring. So my role is really to help support the coordinators in those areas, so the full-time staff who are helping to manage those programs, making sure that they feel supported, making sure that the provost office is providing accurate resources, things like that. So really just helping those offices function and run, and then also listening to students to figure out like what students need in terms of resources and support, and making sure that we're matching that.
That's really cool, being like a student on campus and experiencing this from the other end, either receiving SI or, looking for different study skills. Hearing like your end of things and all the work that you're putting into it is really interesting and cool for sure.
Yeah, it's been a very fun experience. I think over this last year, everything, obviously there's been a lot going on. And so it's been really important for our office to make sure that we're meeting the needs of students virtually, in person, like however we can. And so we have worked pretty hard, and I think successfully, to make sure that there is no loss of services for students on campus. And yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm sure that many students will find your office and your work to be very helpful and very beneficial to them, and we appreciate what you'll do.
Oh, well, I appreciate you being on campus and being students and coming to our services. That's all of us are there to help students. And I think that's one of our favorite things to do. So we would like more students to engage so we can do it more.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, so moving on to our next question. How long have you been working in your field and how long have you been working at UM-Dearborn?
Sure. So I started at UM-Dearborn in 2017. So I've been working here for about 4 years. I started in the Office of Institutional Research, supporting faculty in student learning assessment. And so I've really been working in the field of student success and student learning since I started, so about 4 years. And over my time here, my role has evolved and sort of morphed into what it is now in this director position, but still very much focused on student learning.
Awesome.
Thank you for sharing that. So for our next question, what are the different resources that your office offers to students?
Yeah, so each of the different areas are completely, so we're together, we're coordinated, but each area also offers their own set of services and programming. So in the Math Learning Center, for example, you can do a drop-in appointment. So at any time during the drop-ins, you can stop in for a quick question that maybe only will take 5 minutes, or you can sit down and talk with a tutor for maybe a half hour if you need to. So we do drop-in, we have scheduled appointments, you can meet one-on-one with a tutor, you can meet with a group of other students, maybe in your same class, or maybe in a different class, but they're thinking about the same sort of concepts. So group, one-on-one, informal, formal, hybrid, in-person, online. We have a ton of different resources. We also, on all of the centers and sort of in the office, we have a lot of just different helpful sites online that if you aren't interested in meeting with an actual person, we have other more like asynchronous resources that you can use on your own time and work through that don't involve sort of talking with another person. So a lot of different things depending on how you learn best and what you need.
That's really cool. There's a lot of resources you mentioned that I didn't even know were available. So that's really, really cool. And it's great that there's resources available while things are still online or kind of transitioning into being in person, having those different things available to students when they might need help.
Yeah, I think what we've learned over this last year, especially that students don't operate in a typical 8 to 5 business day like the university was doing. And so we've been able to shift some of our hours to be later in the evenings. We even have some weekend hours available, and then very much like virtual or in person. So we're trying to match what the needs are, like I said.
And I would totally recommend for students to take advantage of all these resources and opportunities and put it to good use, because everyone here is here to help, and they want to ensure everyone is very successful here as a UM-Dearborn student.
Absolutely.
Okay, so for our next question, where is your office located? Where can students make appointments? And then you kind of answered this last part, but will they be virtual or in person in the fall?
Yeah, so right now, all of these different parts are of the office are kind of in different areas in the university. So the Writing Center is on the 3rd floor of the Castle building. The Math Learning Center is on the 2nd floor of the Castle building. The Science Learning Center is in the Science building, which is over kind of by the Social Sciences building on campus. SI sessions kind of happen in classrooms and spaces all over the university. And then tutoring typically happens out of the library. So all of those spaces sort of happen all over campus. My physical office is also located in the library. So we'll be having hybrid availability this semester. So each of the centers will have virtual availability and in person. Each of the centers will be open at least 3 days out of the 5, and then some of them even more. And then our coordinators will each be in the office in person at least like 3 to 4 days a week.
Thank you for that. So what is SI? Will all classes offer SI assistance, and how is this determined?
Yeah, and Ghadah, you might be able to chime in here too, since you are an SI leader. So SI is supplemental instruction. And so what that looks like is a student who has taken the course before and done really well in it, really enjoyed the material. They will be sort of like a peer leader in the course, maybe the following semester. So they go to the lectures, they sort of help keep notes and help students then work through the material. So they'll hold separate sessions during the week. Maybe it's right before class, maybe it's the next day, where they'll go through and do like a review of the content. So sometimes it looks like maybe you're playing a Jeopardy game with some of the content. Maybe you're working through practice problems. It's totally optional. It's totally free. Your faculty member, while most faculty encourage you to go to SI, we don't actually tell the faculty who's going and who doesn't go. So it's somewhat anonymous to your faculty member. And it's just like a really great community. So you learn or you meet other students in your class. So it's building some sort of sense of belonging and togetherness, or working together through difficult material sometimes. And yeah, so it's a great program. It's the data that we have collected shows that it does tend to help students earn higher grades. So students who attend SI sessions compared to students who don't attend SI sessions tend to get higher grades at the end of the semester. How we determine which classes get SI, we tend to look at the classes that students historically struggle with. And so we call those DFW courses. And what that means is students have a high probability of earning a D, an F, or withdrawing. So that's where that W comes in. And so those classes sometimes are, your gateway classes or your intro classes. First year students coming in and maybe just struggling with being in a college class in general, figuring out how to study, figuring out time management, like all of those different pieces. Other times it's classes that are more upper level and just like have difficult concepts or difficult material. We cover a few like upper level psychology classes that are just kind of difficult to get through. And so having a community or a group that's also working through it has proven to be successful for students. So not all classes have SI, but we do have over 30 courses with multiple sections that are covered.
Thank you. As an SI leader myself, I totally recommend students to attend the SI sessions for their classes because it's a very great way for them to engage and participate in peer-led study sessions where the students are able to practice the course material that is actually being taught.
Yeah, for sure. I also agree. I went to a couple SI sessions my freshman year. I had never done any sort of like tutoring or anything like that in the past. So I was a little anxious to like try it out, but it went really well. It was really beneficial. So yes, I suggest it to any freshmen who are considering it. So on to the next question. Do the SI and tutoring services offered through your office cost anything to UM-Dearborn students?
Not at all. Everything within our office is free and does not cost anything. Any student can come to SI, to tutoring. Well, SI, you should probably be in the course for it to mean something, but tutoring, anyone can come. The learning centers, it doesn't matter your major, your year in class, if you're a grad student or an undergrad student, yeah, open to everyone at no cost.
Awesome.
What is some advice for students to better enhance their study skills?
Yes, I wrote down some notes. One of the things that I think we have been sharing more is it's called interleaving or alternating. And that's thinking about alternating the concepts that you're focusing on while you're studying. And so not just spending 3 hours straight on one concept, but actually like mixing up the things that you're thinking about. And that helps you sort of practice in different, you're not just always practicing the same material in the same order. And so your brain doesn't get used to that. And so mixing up the order of what you're thinking about will help your brain sort of retrieve the information better. And it also helps you just not like get stuck focusing on the same thing and maybe not taking in the information as well as you can. So that's what I would suggest is interleaving and focusing on more concepts at a time, I guess.
I also agree as well, and I definitely am going to use that technique more often. And then another study tip that I have is to be organized and have like a really set schedule for yourself for you to do certain things so that you are able to better manage your time wisely.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different tools online that can help you with time management. If you're using the Google email, there's a taskbar right on the right side of your email that helps you to say you can either like make a to-do list, or you can even take an email and turn it into a task. And so that's what I've found really helpful to keep myself organized in everything that I need to do.
Yeah, going off of what you said, there's the like Google Calendar, I think it is also, and that's been a really helpful resource for me throughout school and throughout the summer. You just can put in like the event, or if you get sent like an invitation to a Zoom call or some sort of in-person event, you can add it right into your calendar, and then it'll pop up on your phone. It'll give you a reminder, a day in advance, a couple hours in advance. And that's a great way to just stay on top of everything you have going on, whether it's work or school or, whatever it may be. So awesome. Sure. Great tips, you guys. Okay, so how much time should the average full-time student put aside for schoolwork and studying?
Yeah, so I wish that there was a sort of a hard and fast rule for this, but it really depends on the student. It depends on the courses that they're taking. Some people say that 1 or 2 hours per every hour you're in the actual course in the week. But that isn't always the case for everyone. What I find works pretty well is trying more frequent and focused but shorter study sessions. So like I said before, instead of doing like a 6-hour, maybe you're really have a high level of focus for 1 hour on one particular concept, and then you wrap up that concept and you either move on to something else or you stop studying. So shorter and more frequent study sessions, I think too, will help how often you're retrieving the material, right? So Margaux, if you're thinking about a math concept and you're trying to just like focus and knock it out and cram it all in one day, that might not be as successful as if you were able to take 4 days, smaller chunks every day for a half hour, maybe thinking about something. And that every day, then you're asking your brain to retrieve that day after day versus trying to do it all in one set time. So I think, instead of thinking about how much time in total, you're thinking about how to build in those shorter, more focused study sessions that aren't taking very long.
Right. And I think even if you have a break in between classes or something like that, that'd be a good time to incorporate those sessions in really quick. That way, once you go home, you'll have that free time. You won't have to spend hours and hours studying. So yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that. And I think that it makes studying a little bit more enjoyable too, because you're not, sitting there dreading studying for hours and hours.
Right.
At a time.
Yeah. Yes. And I think, like you said, between courses is a really good time to just like read over your notes. either for the course that you're going into or maybe the course that you just left. And then maybe in your next break, you quiz yourself on the notes that you just read over an hour ago. So thinking of different ways that you can just quickly add in steps throughout the day.
Right. Yeah, that's a really good idea.
How can students be involved in your office, such as becoming an SI leader, a tutor, or etc.?
Yeah, so you can always reach out to any of our coordinators. So on our Office of Academic Success website, we have our just office general email, which is academicsuccess@umich.edu. But we also have the contact information for each of our coordinators. So if you're interested in being a tutor or an SI leader or an assistant in any of the learning centers, you can reach out to them specifically. We are usually always looking for qualified students to help in any of these areas, especially right like towards the beginning and towards the end of the semester. So definitely reach out if you are interested in any of those.
I totally agree. Students should definitely get involved, especially as early as they can, so that they can make the most out of their college life experience. And there's so much out there, and they will learn so much by just engaging with the wonderful community that we have here.
Agreed.
What advice would you give to a new U of M-Dearborn student?
I think it kind of matches what Ghadah just said, like get out and get involved and reach out to people. There are not only like support services, but also just like fun activities to do. And there's a lot of different student organizations. There's a lot of different offices that employ students. So I think there's a lot of places to get involved and be a part of the community. And I think that only helps your college experience.
Right. I would say, especially because a lot of students do commute to U of M-Dearborn, there isn't as much of that opportunity to get that so-called college experience that some students are looking for. So I think that getting involved in different programs, getting maybe a job on campus, or just coming to some different events, it's a great way to make friends and just to, get out there and make the most of your college experience.
Yeah, I agree. And I think there's a lot of places doing like virtual stuff too. So it's now more than ever a little bit easier to connect with people even from your couch. So even if you're not on campus, I would still look into different ways that you can connect with people from campus.
I agree.
And then for our last question, what are some fun facts about you?
Oh goodness, fun. Well, I have a 1.5-year-old son. He's pretty fun. His name is Barrett. He's a lot. I have a cat who is also a lot. And fun fact, I could probably give like an hour-long presentation on anything having to do with like Food Network with like zero preparation time. So
A little fun fact about me is that in my previous episode, I did introduce and say that I was a triplet. So that is a little fun fact about myself.
that is fun. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Do you have like all brothers or all sisters or
All sisters. We're all sisters and we're fraternal, so we don't look identical. And then I'm the only one that goes to U of M-Dearborn. The other two go to Wayne State. So
Nice.
That's cool. Okay, and a fun fact about me, I've done cheerleading pretty much my entire life. I did it growing up. In high school, I was on the varsity sideline and competitive teams. I did all-star cheerleading, so travel cheerleading for quite a few years. I've won national titles 3 different times. And I'm now more into kind of like the choreography part of cheerleading, coaching younger kids and spotting them on the different skills and stunts that we do. So that's been very fun and exciting for me.
That is very cool.
All right, so to sort of wrap up the episode, we have Jess's contact information on here in case you have any questions for her, you want to reach out to her regarding anything. We also have the website to access the academic success page for U of M-Dearborn if you're looking for more information or if you're looking for some of those study tips and everything that we covered in this episode. All right, so if you are ready to keep mastering Maize and Blue, check out our channel on YouTube at U of M-Dearborn, and then also check out our website at umdearborn.edu/mastering Maize and Blue to view our previous and future episodes for more advice and information for our incoming freshmen and transfer students. So Jess, we want to thank you so much for joining our episode today. It was really, really nice having you on. You gave us lots of great information, and it was nice just getting to meet you and chat with you for a little bit. And Ghadah, if you wanted to say anything else.
Yes, I also wanted to say thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me and reaching out. I'm very happy to do this, and let me know if I can do anything else.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.